Okay, so good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We are all welcome to the kickoff meeting of the maiden edition of the Knowledge Management for Agriculture Development Challenge. We are glad to have you here today, and we look forward to having a very interesting discussion with you. It's always been a privilege for the CADEP SP4 institutions to engage you, and we hope that this is going to be one of those engagements that will definitely advance the cause of the CADEP Malabo goals, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals. So we are very happy to have you today. We want to just kickstart the meeting, and I would want to just confirm if we are all, we can all hear me very well. Please let me know or let us know if you cannot hear well so that we will attend to you through the chat box. My name is Benjamin. All right, thank you. My name is Benjamin Abugri, and I'm the Knowledge Management, Learning and Communication Lead Specialist at the Forum for Agricultural Research for Development, the Secretariat based here in Accra, Ghana. I'm currently connecting, fortunately, from the CORAF Secretariat in Dakar, Senegal. And so in the room here, I have other colleagues from CORAF, about eight of us joining here. So you might not see them on the membership, but we have 8 members here in the CORAF conference room joining. So it's really a very good privilege to be part of this. And at this point, we would like to, I want to also make the point that I'll be facilitating this meeting today together with Dr. Andries Bradner, who is the Executive Director of the Knowledge for Development Partnership, together with my colleagues, knowledge management experts from the SROs, the sub-regional organizations in Africa, and the Forum for Agriculture Advisory Services, AFAS. And so on CORAF, I have David Akana and Zizu Abode. They are representing CORAF on the Knowledge Management Committee, the working group. From Asareka, we have Ben Ilakut, who is representing the KM in Asareka. And then in Kadesa, I have Bridget Kakua. Bridget represents Kadesa on the Knowledge Management Working Group, and she's one of the facilitators for this. And the last person is Mr. Andre Rasso. Rasso represents AFAS. And so it's a team, and it's a privilege to be working with you today. So at this point, I would like to invite the Executive Director of FARA, who has his presentation already recorded, and so we would like to play it at this point as to welcome. So at this point, I invite the Executive Director of FARA to give us his opening remarks. And as you can see in the program, after the Executive Director of FARA, we would have the Executive Directors of the various institutions, CADEP SP4 institutions, CORAF, Kadesa, AFAS, Asareka, and then Dr. Darky, as well as the Executive Director for K4DP, to also make their opening remarks. So please, let's listen to the Executive Director of FARA, Dr. Yemi Akimbamijo, as he gives his opening remarks for this event.
Colleague executive directors of the sub-regional organizations of Asareka, CORAF, Kadesa, NASRO, and the executive director of AFAS, Professor Andreas Brandner and Dr. Sarah Cummings of the Knowledge for Development Partnership, Professor Kinis Dalkir from McGill University, Dr. Annette Nabatanzi Muyimba of Makerere University, our distinguished facilitators drawn from the different institutions affiliated to the Knowledge for Development program, the selected participants of the 2021 challenge from 20 National Agricultural Research and Extension Services in WIPAD, invited guests and participants. Good afternoon to you all. My name again is Yemi Akimbamija, the Executive Director of the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa, based out here in Accra. It is a great joy for me to welcome all of you, especially to this very unique day when we are flagging off the maiden edition of the Knowledge Management for Agricultural Development, what we call the KM4AgD Development Challenge, within the Agricultural Innovation System and the Science Agenda for Agriculture in Africa. In collaboration with AFAS and the sub-regional organizations, FARA is now launching the Knowledge Management for Agricultural Development Challenge as a joint initiative under the KADEP XP4 program, with funding support from the European Commission being administered by IFAD. These 5 organizations, ladies and gentlemen, have jointly conceived the challenge as an annual event and partnering with Knowledge for Development Partnership, a global network of experienced knowledge management practitioners and academics. As we all know, ladies and gentlemen, that knowledge is at the heart of development. Therefore, today's societies are characterized by a predominant and still growing share of knowledge work at all levels of institutions. Knowledge is also essential because it supports decision-making, evidence-based planning, and increases institutional credibility. Knowledge is critical, and especially for research organizations like ours, because research is an essential component in generating this knowledge. According to experts, knowledge is a primary resource of the societies, dynamically changing through several drivers like globalization, digitalization, specialization, and more. Unfortunately, existing agricultural knowledge and statistics are quite spotty and unreliable, especially here in Africa, and this despite the existence of official statistics agencies in most, if not all, our member states of the African Union. The case poses a substantial challenge to KADEP Malabo indicators and monitoring progress towards these indicators' biennial targets, which is tracked through the biennial review at the country level. This situation also poses challenges in achieving our SDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, the role of agricultural research and development in knowledge generation, dissemination, and its use towards Africa's agenda in halving poverty by 2025 through the KADEP Malabo commitment, as well as contributing to the SDG 2030, cannot be overemphasized. Several significant institutional developments in recent years by FARA and our partners provide a valuable foundation for an attempt to improve Africa's agricultural knowledge, information, and data capture and dissemination. And I will proceed to give a few of these examples. In 2017, FARA and the partners, through the Science Agenda for Agriculture, had a consultative meeting and took feedback from over 40 NARIs, analyzed and assessed ways to improve the forum's information management and collaboration with our partners, and we came up with the following, what is called the FARA Data Informs, which is an online observatory of AR4D in Africa. Again, in 2020, the KM4AgD XP4 institutions established a collective agenda christened the Akosombo Integration Agenda. And out of these came a continental data capture strategy, which was eventually published. I am glad to have been a part of this particular initiative. Therefore, on a third point, third count, the agenda that is outlined 7 key areas of integration, which includes knowledge management approaches, knowledge management tools, knowledge resources, knowledge management processes, the communities, the capacity development, and the ecosystem for AR4D. Therefore, we have this homegrown challenge that now aims to improve the capture and the dissemination of knowledge in African agriculture by building the appropriate capacities and establishing communities of practice, as well as strengthening knowledge generation, dissemination, and the use of knowledge and its related mechanisms. It comprises the collaborative activities, including the knowledge management professionals, the data collectors and the collection, the demanded knowledge products, and 3 key questions. Now, these, ladies and gentlemen, will start in September, this month on the 13th, and spread through November 30th. Findings from this challenge will be shared through a continental knowledge management conference during the week of December 6 to 10, later on in the year. And in this context, the KM4AgD XP4 partners and the Knowledge for Development partners have come together to develop the Knowledge Management for Agricultural Development Challenge that can now be adopted and implemented across our continent. This workshop, ladies and gentlemen, officially launches and provides information about knowledge management challenges among the KM4AgD XP4 institutions to create awareness and generate support for the maiden edition of this initiative. To close, I dare now say that FARA, ALPHAs, and the SROs are committed to deploying the Knowledge Management for Agricultural Development Challenge, and also invite key partners and other key stakeholders within the agricultural innovation system to join in sustaining this new momentum and initiative. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming, and I wish you a very pleasant deliberation today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Yemi Akimbamijo. So at this point, I would like to invite the Executive Director for KORA, Dr. Abdul Tempan, to give us his opening remarks. Thank you very much. Shall we invite Dr. Tempan?
Hello, Benjamin.
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe I will come in to say a few words on his behalf.
Okay.
This is Niduba Lamien, the Acting Director of Research and Innovation of KORAF. Few words for this opening remark. First of all, dear executive directors of our KM4AgD XP4 organization, dear partners, on behalf of Dr. Tankwano, I would like to thank you very much for giving this opportunity to KORAF to participate to this meeting. The topic of this meeting is really important for KORAF because there is really a growing demand to better talk to decision makers, to better talk to our various stakeholders, because they need to know more about what science is generating. And our individual organization was working in isolation, coming together to address this important issue is very well appreciated from KORAF's side. The reason is that KORAF has been struggling with the challenges. I'm seeing you are saying challenged by the challenges in setting a robust knowledge management system at KORAF level. And some of the questions we were asking, what is the prototype of a robust infrastructure to build so that we can efficiently manage all the knowledge that our member institutions are generating. The second question is, what is the prototype of competence we need to recruit so that he can lead this robust infrastructure for our knowledge management. And then what you all know, knowledge management, collecting the data, packaging the data, and they disseminate. These are some of the issues where KORAF is facing, and having our sister organization and partner coming together to find a framework for that. That is very well appreciated by KORAF. And as I was saying, I will not be long in this speech. KORAF will actively contribute and learn from other institutions so that it can have a robust knowledge management system, as I was stating. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Lamien. We are very grateful for your time. So at this point, I would like to invite, I don't know if the Executive Director for either CADESA or AFAS is available. But if not, I would like to invite Professor Darky to also make her remarks. So, Professor Darky, we are very happy to have you in this event. Please, the floor is yours.
Yes, yes, I tried to put my video on, but apparently we're not allowed. I don't know. So I will just speak to you this way. So yes, it's morning here. Greetings from McGill University, Montreal, Canada. Bonjour à tout le monde. Je suis très heureuse d'être parmi vous. And I don't really have a speech prepared for you. I just want to maybe share with you that I've been on this knowledge management journey now for maybe too many years, over 20 certainly. And one of the things that are that I am very hold near and dear to my heart is to make knowledge management understandable and applicable. So I look forward to being able to interact with you and share with you some of the key concepts, but perhaps more importantly, really focus on how this can be applied to yield some very, very tangible benefits to your organization, to your communities, and to each individual knowledge worker in the organizations. And also the other emphasis I would maybe bring is that knowledge management, we do, of course, we're very familiar with the processes of knowledge management, and there are a lot of benefits there, especially lessons learned, learning from our peers, learning from the past, increasing efficiency. But I would also emphasize that knowledge management has a second very important goal, which is to promote innovation. It can spark creativity, and it can also inspire people to not only do things efficiently, but to jump out of the box, take a look at things differently, and not just do things better and faster at less cost, but maybe do something else altogether. So that is an area of knowledge management that I would emphasize very much. So I believe I won't take too much time. I will have some time with all of you later on. And part of what I'll be doing with you, again, I'm very happy and thank all of the organizers and organizations for inviting me to participate in this. I will be sharing some of my recent research on how artificial intelligence and knowledge management can work together, how each can offer benefits, and together there's a very interesting synergy in what you can do with both approaches. And I believe my second intervention will be also based on some recent research I've done on fake news and misinformation, and again, the role that knowledge management and artificial intelligence can play in combating these very challenging times that we're living in. So thank you very much, and I look forward to having some excellent KM discussions with all of you.
Thank you very much, Professor Daki, and it's really a privilege to have you join this challenge. So at this point, I would like to invite, if we have Kadesa, Bridget, who will be speaking on behalf of the Executive Director. I don't know if Bridget has been, is on board at the moment.
Thank you very much, Ben. I'm going to talk on behalf of the CADESA Executive Director, Dr. Ndelamini, who could not attend the meeting because he has 2 other meetings that he's attending. I guess this COVID-19 is making people to attend too many meetings in one day. One leg is in another and the other leg in another meeting. So on behalf of Dr. Ndelamini, I'm happy to be part of this great initiative of knowledge management for development. And CADESA as an organization is really looking forward to this initiative. And we are thanking the organizers for coming up with this wonderful initiative. We hope that at the end of the 4 months period, our participants are going to come out better person than they were. And we hope that they are also going to learn so much from us as they also learn from, as we also learn from them. So as you may be aware, CADESA attaches so much great importance to the knowledge management work, as it is evidenced by it having one thematic area that solely addresses knowledge management. So being part of this great initiative could not have come at a better time such as this. And we just want to say that we are happy and we wish all the participants and the organizers all the best as they undertake this massive task that is ahead of you. So please enjoy the whole journey. I know it will be rough along the way, but with the facilitators that you have on board and the team that you have on board, I just wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bridget, for standing in for your Executive Director. I also have the privilege to invite, I can see the Director of AFAS. I don't know if he's been brought on board as a panelist yet, but Francis was working on that. So at this point, whilst we wait for Dr. Nadi from AFAS, we would invite Ben Ilakut from Asareka to represent his Executive Director, Dr. Warenda, to make his opening remarks. So Ben.
Thank you very much, Benjamin, and greetings to you all, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ben Ilakut. I am the Technical Communications Officer in Asareka, and my Executive Director, Dr. Enoch Warenda, is in another meeting, and so he asked me to mention a few words on his behalf as we do the first launch of the Knowledge Management for Agricultural Research for Development Challenge. These are his words, but I will speak them more or less in first person, but these are his words. The agricultural knowledge management for the knowledge management for agricultural development challenge is a critical initiative in leveraging the resources from all manner of partners that we work with, from the continental level up to the national level, to make use, to improve innovation, science, and technology. Indeed, Asareka recognizes the place that knowledge provides in enhancing the capacity of our partners, especially our researchers, in doing their work, in being efficient, and producing goods and public goods and services that support our people in the areas of food security and also in propelling economic development. As convening, coordinating, and apex entities that we are all, FARA Affairs, KORAF, KADESA, as coordinating entities, it is perhaps probably one of the most important roles that we are supposed to play as we serve our constituents dotted all over the continent. The role in facilitating knowledge sharing, knowledge management, and access to timely information to facilitate the agricultural value chain in doing its work. Asareka currently is in the process of developing a knowledge and information hub. We call it the KI Hub for the 14 member countries of Eastern and Central Africa, which are its constituents. We have carried out a first phase of developing that hub by revisiting our strategies for knowledge management and communication, and also the strategy for managing the knowledge hub. We have actually done the first phase of developing a knowledge hub platform that is supposed to become the clearing house for sharing our knowledge in Eastern and Central Africa. Asareka therefore welcomes all manner of negotiations and any meaningful discussion with all our partners from the continental level up to the national level, mindful of the principle of subsidiarity, to identify, one, areas that are critical for knowledge sharing, two, how we are going to share this knowledge so that we can enter partnerships that can foster mutual accountability and satisfaction as we embark into the area of knowledge sharing. Thank you all. The presentation which we shall be presenting later will outline in detail how we view the entire landscape of knowledge sharing. Thank you on behalf of Dr. Warinda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben, for representing Dr. Warinda in delivering this very insightful message. So at this point, I would like to invite Dr. Slim Nadi, the Executive Director for AFAS, to make his remarks. Dr. Slim?
Thank you very much, Ben. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please, we can hear you very loud.
Yeah, my network is a little on, off, so you'll have to excuse me a bit. So basically, well, we really thank and acknowledge FARA's initiative, which is extremely important, especially in bringing this initiative, which is all encompassing. And also we thank all the participants who are there. And for AFAS, certainly we have brought in some country forum members from Nigeria, Uganda, Ethiopia, Malawi, and Cameroon in this. Well, I don't want to repeat what my colleague from Asareka said, but just a quick update on what AFAS. Well, AFAS developed its knowledge management strategy a while back, and we are certainly in the process of revisiting it, especially in context of the CADAPEX P4 pillar arrangements and programs, which were, and in context of all what is happening in the institutions, FARA, SERECA, CODESA, and so on and so forth, so that at least we have a commonality of goals and approaches. But of course, as you are aware, well, AFAS basically its main focus is on extension and advisory services. So our knowledge management processes and strategy really, but main focus is on the issues of practical application and so on at that level. Although we, in partnership with several institutions and partners, other aspects of it has also incorporated. One of the areas which we have seen, of course, in issues of knowledge management and implementation is the issue of capacity is very critical. And we realize that especially from the ground level, extension workers who work with frontline, who are at the front line, working with the farmers, and who link up very closely with researchers and other value chain actors. The issue of capacity is their capacities to use what's available, or even to generate and contextualize it and apply it is very critical. So one of the main backbone of our knowledge management is the issue of capacity. And also, I think one of the areas we are doing already is the issues of training, which has been initiated. And currently our focus in ISO training on knowledge management. And like I said earlier on, it is good this meeting is on, and our knowledge management team leader, who is Andre, is going to, I think, work closely with the rest of the team to make sure that as we revise the knowledge management strategy, we incorporate areas that has hitherto not been there, taking into view what's happening now and also in other institutions. Really quickly, really is one of the areas we are really pushing very hard is and articulating is digitalization, which is a big agenda in the AFAS framework. And also, currently we are organizing a hackathon, which is going to be, it will culminate into during the extension week, which is being organized for November. And I think, as you're aware, we have every 2 years we organize an extension week, which is going to be in November in Uganda. So we also request you to register and participate. So basically, let's welcome this endeavor, but also make sure that as we revise our knowledge management strategy, all these aspects are incorporated, and they can also talk to each other in a more coherent way, so that we don't do, we don't work in divergence paths, but we converge in the same direction. So thank you very much. And I think, Andre, I don't know whether we'll have time to calculate a little more of what we are doing, but I hope we'll have time. But we welcome this initiative because we can see from the concept, it's really not only ambitious, but it has far-reaching implications if it can be embraced at country level. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nadi. Always on point, and we are glad to have you. So at this point, we would invite Kofi Akwe, the YPAT regional representative, to make his quick remarks. I don't know if Kofi is around.
Yes, Ben, I'm around. I'm on the call.
Okay, so the floor is.
Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, and good day to everyone in this forum. I'm excited to be speaking to you at this moment in this forum, because as youth of Africa, we see this as a very important time. And on a continent where there's 35 to 40% of the labor force as youth, it is important to ensure that youth are well positioned to take up the challenge of feeding the continent. And youth must be well equipped to contribute to the agricultural sector, which absorbs about 75% of the workforce in some regions in Africa as the single largest source of employment. So in this meeting, I must say that the involvement of the youth in the forum now and the involvement of youth in the KM4AgD challenge is proof that FARA and SROs believe in the potential of the youth to transform our food system through innovation. And through my work with YPAD and connection with FARA, I have been involved in various discussions and dialogues about the food systems that we want as youth and as Africa. And I see that this challenge is a response to the call of African youth, to the leaders of the sector and the leaders of governments to support science and research opportunities for young people. And this call actually resonates with YPAD's key activities, one of which is to organize and strengthen the local bases of YPAD members in selected regions. And we do this through workshop trainings, and several of them are co-organized and hosted by our Institute for Agricultural Research in Africa, FARA. And with these activities, including the KM4AgD challenge, we envision that such cooperation with regional and national actors and educational institutions will lead to long-term sustainability of our activities. And we are more convinced that the youth's engagement in the KM4AgD challenge is a good step in the right direction to contribute to halving poverty through CAADP and Malabo commitments. We see that this challenge will go a long way to improve Africa's data capture and utilization of data to improve our food systems. So on behalf of YPAD Africa and the youth all across Africa in agriculture and related activities, I would like to express our appreciation for being involved in the challenge. This is a great initiative and we are glad to be involved in this. Thank you very much. Over to you, Benjamin.
Thank you very much, Kofi. Thanks so much for the representation of YPAD in this event. And we are glad that we have you here. So at this point, I think I would love to invite the Executive Director of the Knowledge for Development Partnership, who is also co-facilitating this workshop with me and others. He would make a brief presentation, and then he would also try to help us recognize other aspects and pioneers of knowledge management that are on this call, so that we can, recognize them as such. So, Dr. Andreas Bratner.
Thank you very much, Benjamin, for the nice introduction, and thank you, executive directors of the KAADP Exp4 partners and the contributors so far for this very strong commitment to the knowledge management for agricultural development challenge. For me and for K4DP, it is a big honor to collaborate with you all on this challenge. And personally, I'm also very excited and honored to collaborate with outstanding experts, practitioners, scientists in the field of knowledge management and knowledge-based development in this challenge. I would like to introduce some of them. You have met Professor Kimit Stark here already. She's one of the outstanding experts and pioneers in knowledge management in Canada at McGill, one of the most recognized universities in Canada and maybe even in the world. And we have with me, and I would like to welcome Prince Lekan Fadina from Nigeria and Atsu Sename, who are both a member of the board of directors. And from the experts who are lecturing, I would also like to welcome Charles Dewa, like Kimit Starker, a winner of the Knowledge Management Award, by the way. Eri Tamale from UNEP and the Global Compact for Biodiversity. Obina Anna, an expert in knowledge management in the water sector. Ennet Nabatansi from Makerere University Business School, the Dean, who has, MOOPS has established a joint center with us. Paul Hector from UNESCO, one of the driving forces, I would say, for knowledge societies at UNESCO. Richard Mugata from Calro, an IT expert. And of course, my dear colleague in Vienna, Petra Herold, who is also one of the founders of the Knowledge for Development Partnership. I would like to share with you very briefly a few slides on K4DP and how this relates with the knowledge management for development challenge. And I'm currently sharing my screen. I hope you can all see it well.
Yeah, it's in now.
You can see it.
Yes.
Thank you. So what I would like to share with you is a bit of the identity of Knowledge for Development Partnership. I think we are all in agreement that knowledge is at the heart of sustainable development. And this is exactly what K4DP is about. We truly believe that knowledge is the essential resource for all the SDGs. And we anchor our activities in SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals, which also highlights explicitly the relevance of knowledge sharing in global, regional, and national knowledge partnerships for the better of our world. And in collaboration with a big number of experts and practitioners, we have created an agenda on knowledge for development as to strengthen the SDGs and the Agenda 2030 through more advanced knowledge management. And we have contributions from all parts of the world and as a multi-stakeholder partnership from various sectors, academia, government, NGOs, businesses, smaller ones, bigger ones. So we are really a nice and diverse community and happy to welcome you all to it because it's open and becoming a partner is cost-free. This agenda finally was launched at the UN office in Geneva in 2017. And in order to sustain this agenda, the Knowledge for Development Partnership was inaugurated at the UN. We have 14 so-called knowledge development goals, and you will find that in all sectors and areas of the SDGs, these topics are relevant. And I think it requires joint forces to solve these challenges in knowledge management for the SDGs. And I would not be surprised if a lot of these are really relevant also for the agricultural sector. I'm very convinced. So you will find more about all these on our website, k4dp.org. The activities of K4DP mainly are developed around this agenda. So we support local, national, regional implementations of knowledge agendas. The first one was developed for Uganda. We facilitate knowledge partnerships, national, sectoral, in various countries and regions. We, of course, foster and advance knowledge management, but we also take responsibility for societal challenges like knowledge divide. We realize that any kind of divide, social divide, is mainly linked with knowledge divide. And when talking about, for instance, AFAS talking about reaching the last mile, it is one of the key challenges to onboard everybody in a knowledge society. We also work on technical solutions, knowledge hubs, strengthen the wider knowledge ecosystem of sectors and countries, foster dissemination of knowledge, support cooperations on an international basis, being located all over the world. And one of the very important elements of K4DP is to strengthen education and research in knowledge management. And it is a big honor to say that very recently, only a few weeks ago, we have established the second center for knowledge management at Makerere University. It's called the Knowledge for Development Center, reaching out to Eastern Africa. And half a year ago, we have established a joint center for knowledge sciences at the International University of Management in Namibia, representing Southern Africa. So these are activities, and we are growing fast. One of the key elements of our is that knowledge management as such is present, and as we also realize it here, it is already existing in several contexts. And I would say in different stakeholder groups like the NGOs and development partners, the governmental bodies, education and science, we have knowledge management activities. But also in sectors like agriculture, biodiversity and water, we have knowledge management activities. And of course, we have also the businesses, etc., etc. And we realize that we all have the same problems, but we cannot solve them alone, because knowledge is linked or should be linked with each other, and we depend on each other's knowledge to really achieve impact. And the K4D challenge, the knowledge management for agriculture challenge, help us to step out of our comfort zone, of our silos, come together, meet other people, learn from other perspectives, and look at what is really important, what counts, what will make agricultural development a success. And on that basis, we aim at developing a common knowledge agenda for agricultural development, provide policy briefs, guidance documents, support for all the partners, but in an integrated way, as the Executive Director, Dr. Yemi Akinbamiyo, has already mentioned. The integration agenda, a Kosombo integration agenda, is highly important for us. So while developing all these concepts about coming together, we collaborated already in the initial stage with FARA in conceptualizing the K4D challenge, because we thought that it is important to have professionally educated people who can manage knowledge. We understand knowledge is important, so if it's a critical resource, we need to manage it. And this needs to be managed together with others, because we are collaborating in a knowledge ecosystem. And therefore, the knowledge management challenges shall bring together the people who will drive the transformation, work on the common challenges together, and learn by doing and even creating innovative solutions in a team. And of course, such a partnership shall be sustained. Therefore, it is great to hear that we are intending and aiming to continue the challenge in the upcoming years. The knowledge management for agricultural development challenge is the first knowledge for development challenge. We could say it has been, the K4D challenge as such has been co-created with FARA and its partners. However, in the future, we also aim at implementing challenges with other sectors that are very much linked with agriculture, like biodiversity and water and sanitation. And the representatives of these initiatives are also joining, as I have mentioned. So let me now hand over to Benjamin to introduce the key components of the Knowledge Management for Agricultural Development Challenge 2021.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Andres. And those are very, very much good information that we can take in terms of understanding the background of this very important initiative. So just continuing from there, and this is, we are on the agenda item, the overview, process, output, and expectations of the knowledge for, of this event.
Right.
So can we go ahead with the presentation? Dr. Andres? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. So the Knowledge Management for Agriculture Development Challenge 2021, and which has been envisaged as an annual event, is a joint program of FARA and our continental partners, including CADESA, CORAF, ASARECA, AFAS, and with expert support from the Knowledge for Development Partnership, which Dr. Andres just mentioned. Now, this challenge, and for this year, has been envisaged to look at building the capacities of the stakeholders or the participants on knowledge management, as well as knowledge societies. And this will be done through a training session, which will be 8 days, 5 days for the knowledge management training, and 3 days for the knowledge society training. And this, together with sector partners, they will be looking at 3 key challenges that has been identified and these challenges is in line with the agenda of the CADEP SP4 institutions. And this is what the participants are going to pay attention to. Now, participants shall be awarded Certified Knowledge Managers for Sustainable Development certificates. And just as Dr. Andres had mentioned in his presentation, these certificates would carry some value in terms of their delivery at the national level within their networks, and then in their contribution to the achievement of the Malabo goals as well as the Sustainable Development goals. They would, the findings or the lessons, the learnings that will be generated by these participants, which will be solutions and findings, will be presented at a high-level conference. And it is also going to be a maiden knowledge management conference for Africa agriculture. And this has been planned to take place in the week of 6 December 2021. And so participants of this challenge are going to climax this event at this knowledge management conference. And we really look forward to many more collaborations in terms of organizing this conference. There will be artworks that will be developed involving African artists. And as we know, art is one of the key knowledge activities. And as outlined by Dr. Andres on the 14 knowledge development goals, you could see that was one of the key goals that we look forward to achieve. And so at this point, I'll just allow Dr. Andres to showcase a few more of the artwork that has already been done in connection with this very important event. So Dr. Andres, over to you.
Yeah, right, thank you. Art is really an important element in conveying knowledge to various people. A picture says more than 1,000 words, and Therefore, we have encouraged artists, specifically a young artist, Inga Yashina, in Uganda, to collaborate with us in the design of these very nice knowledge trees, which encourage individuals and organizations to think about knowledge and its relevance. So this is something that you can put on the table. It's very easy to show and share with others, and it gives inspiration. And you will find a number of these very nice so-called knowledge trees, like grow your wings of knowledge, learning is light, ignorance is darkness. It's not quantity of knowledge that's important, but it's quality, and so on. Constantly cultivate your knowledge. That is even very much linked with agriculture. And knowledge is power. Yes, we would say knowledge sharing is power. Knowledge is power, and even more when we share it. So these are good inspirations for us. Hand over to you, Benjamin, to introduce to the next challenge. But before you continue, I'm happy to also say that one of the artists, Thomas Baba, is also with us, and he will also support the challenge in the next months. Please, Benjamin, take over.
Thank you very much, Dr. Andres. Yes, so for this year, the participants of the Knowledge Management for Agriculture Development Challenge, working together with over 20 experts in knowledge management, are going to address these 3 key challenges. They will develop solutions for key organizational knowledge management that is coming up with key concepts for the participants and their organizations or their countries. They will develop solutions for agriculture development challenges, and this will result in some knowledge briefs for agriculture in knowledge management. And this will also involve some policy brief that will support or that will outline how our policy makers can help make knowledge management a very important tool in advancing the sustainable development. They will develop inputs for the global knowledge, global agenda for knowledge for development, and this will include some key statements that will help in terms of advancing the agenda of knowledge management. We know that messages from key people are very important when it comes to advancing knowledge management. And so this is going to be something that is going to support this agenda. And just as I mentioned in the previous slide, it will result in they presenting these findings at a knowledge management conference to be organized later this year. I think we can move on. Okay, so in terms of participation for this year, FARA, together with our regional partners, CADESA, ASARECA, CORAF, AFAS, and YPAT, have identified through a competitive process 25 participants who will be outdoored today or who will be officially be admitted today. And these participants are fully funded through this CADEP SP4 program to go through this challenge. And they will be mentored. They will also be taught by prominent people in knowledge management that will help us advance the course of this agenda. So these 25 participants have been carefully selected from the national systems as well as YPAT. Now, we are still open to any partner who wants to also sponsor some more other persons from their network to join the challenge. But at this point, we have been able to sponsor only 25 at this for this year's challenge. Yeah, we can move. And the participants are going to learn and collaborate actively in a number of sessions, which will be outlined in subsequent slides. Knowledge cafes will be organized to enable participants and the aspects to be able to address the challenge. And this, maybe those of us who have witnessed the use of knowledge cafes, you realize that it's a very important and participatory tool that advances the course of knowledge management. They will contribute to the scientific articles that reflect the processes and findings of the entire challenge. So what it means is that at the end of the challenge, they would have produced scientific articles that will pass for a number of high-level journals, as well as for publication for the advancement of knowledge management in agricultural research for development in Africa. We have already identified and mobilized experts as part of through the Knowledge for Development Partnership. And all the participants that will go through successfully this challenge will be admitted as experts in knowledge management, and they will support the agenda for knowledge management. We'll be developing outreach knowledge products and at least one policy brief for each country, the participating countries, and this will be presented as a communique at the Knowledge Management Conference to advance policy engagement. So these are the expectations of participants for this challenge, this year's challenge. Yes, we can move on.
Okay, so let me now also take over and say a few words about our partnerships with the universities, which I think is very important. K4DP has established last year the School of Knowledge Sciences, which connects about 20 academic partners, universities and institutions from all over the world to advance scientific research and education in the field of knowledge management. And K4DP has established, together with universities, centers that drive the development of knowledge management at their universities and in their countries. And as I mentioned, we have now established centers, the Knowledge for Development Center at Makerere University Business School and with the International University of Management. Both universities will start their Master of Science in Knowledge Management in 2022. At least we are in the process of doing this, and we are confident that we can start in the course of 2022. Other programs like a Bachelor of Science and then also a PhD in Knowledge Management will be offered subsequently, but we will start with a Master of Science. And this means that the participants of the Knowledge Management for Agricultural Development Challenge shall be, let's say, the course as such will be accredited by the universities, and the participants can build on that and continue their education to get the Master of Science from these very recognized universities. And I also would like to indicate how high level these experts and facilitators, instructors are, which we have combined here or brought together in this challenge. We have high-level experts from all over the world and a good number of Africans in this program. Even those that are from outside of Africa have quite a long-standing relationship with Africa and have a good understanding of the challenges in the agricultural sector. Myself, I'm working in African countries for about 5 years, and I'm pleased to say that together with Benjamin, I could already develop and co-author the continental data capture strategy and also contribute to the knowledge management strategy of Azareka. So I really have a very close relationship with this sector, and I'm happy to contribute to it even more in the next months. Over to you, Benjamin, to conclude the overall impact.
So thank you very much, Dr. Andreas. Yes, so in terms of the intended overall impact of the Knowledge Management for Agriculture Development Challenge. These are a few of the things that we strongly believe that this is a good cause, and if we embark on it with all the commitment, we will be able to derive the following impacts. We are convinced that the participants from the 20 countries, the 25 participants from the 20 countries are going to drive the agenda for knowledge management once their capacities have been built and they have qualified through the knowledge management, through the challenge. And so they would be driving the process of transformation in knowledge, in a knowledge society and knowledge-based agriculture, which is what we are all looking up to. Now, the successful implementation of the KM strategies and programs in participating in organizations and their increased performance is also expected, because once you have capacity, you are sure that that capacity will make impact in their various organizations. And it will also lead to a stronger knowledge sharing and collaboration in Africa, because these aspects, together with the existing ones and the practitioners that we have identified, will form a knowledge management community. And this community shall be vibrant in providing foresight or artificial intelligence for the knowledge management agenda in agriculture for Africa. And the advanced knowledge policies and strategies will also be used to seek political support or political commitment to the advancement of knowledge management. And this is where we call it the knowledgealization of Africa's agricultural development. And we seek to advance innovation and problem solving in complex challenging situations. And we know that as they go through the challenge, the three challenges, by the time we find solutions to the three challenges, we believe that their capacities and the capacities of their team in wherever they work would have been greatly influenced. And then finally, the final impact is the KADEP Malabo goals, which we all seek to achieve by 2025, and the advancement of the Sustainable Development Goals 2030. So, among others, these are the impacts that we seek to achieve, and we are very convinced that with this model that we have adopted, it will definitely lead us to achieving this goal. Slides.
Okay, now let me thank you, Benjamin. Let me briefly summarize or give you an overview of the timetable for the next 4 months, so that you can better understand how the program is structured. We are starting in September, of course, with this event, but we are starting with the courses and sessions next Monday, the 13th of September, providing an overview on the knowledge management frameworks, strategies, governance models, management, address topics of knowledge leadership and developing a knowledge culture that supports knowledge work and knowledge sharing. We then deepen our understanding of key knowledge processes, like, for instance, capturing knowledge or communicating knowledge to the various stakeholder groups. We then also deepen the topic of communities of practice and knowledge networks, which from our point of view are very fundamental for the success of knowledge management. After this week, we again provide material to deepen these learnings and continue on the 20th with as we call it, knowledge management advanced sessions, which give more insights into the technical solutions that support knowledge management. So which tools are supporting knowledge processes? How do we structure knowledge in our systems so that we can create benefit from it? How can we develop artificial intelligence solutions that strengthen knowledge management? And finally, many of us are working in knowledge hubs together with other partners. And also for this, we need our IT architecture, and we will highlight some good examples and best practices in this regard, specifically also introducing those of the sub-regional organizations. At the end of November, or at the end of September, we will start working on the organizational knowledge management challenges, which means the participants start working on their organizational challenges related to knowledge management. They are fully supported by the faculty and by the peers, so that they are in continuous collaboration, coaching, and peer learning to develop concepts that are practical and applicable. In October, we kickstart the societal aspect of the Knowledge Management for Development Challenge. And as I mentioned, we have a strong relationship with UNESCO, which is one of the UN organizations with explicit strong focus on knowledge societies. And their competencies are integrated in our challenge. And as I mentioned, Paul Hector is with us to share more understanding about policy frameworks, the concepts of knowledge partnerships and knowledge ecosystems, but also the key principles of freedom of knowledge, how to fight fake news, how to guarantee diversity and inclusion, how to protect and maintain and communicate indigenous knowledge. These are questions that are, of course, they start in the organization, but they are very much societal challenges which need to be addressed together. So the third topic is on knowledge communication and dissemination in the country, how to reach the last mile, how to strengthen citizen skills to make good use of knowledge, etc. And finally, we should not forget that knowledge is not only about social aspects, but we also have economic aspects with it. Money and knowledge really need to go together well, and how these relationships between finance and knowledge works will be addressed as well. And at the end of October, we start with the sector challenges. So based on all these learnings and discussions and reflections, we will work on the knowledge management challenges in the field of agriculture that are given to us by the participants and by the KDBX before partners. This will be at the core of November, where the participants collaborate in teams to solve these challenges, and we will hold knowledge cafes to include even people from outside. And we have proposed 4 dates, but we are flexible in adjusting or even extending this. At the end of November, the results from the concepts will be presented, and additional feedback will be given so that every participant can go home to their organization and country and say, this is what I have learned, this is what I have produced, this is my recommendation, this is the way forward. And this shall be a solid result for each of you. And of course, the conference will conclude all of this together, and we will have a high-level participation at this conference, so we can hand over our findings to the decision makers, and also the artworks that we produce will be then presented. Benjamin, would you like to say some few more words about the conference before we conclude?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Andres. Yes, for the conference, we look forward to admitting the participants for this challenge to the conference after a successful completion of the challenge. I mean, from now to November. So a successful completion of the challenge actually guarantees your full sponsorship to participate in the conference. A venue yet to be announced. We also invite organizations, individuals that want to collaborate with us in this maiden edition of the Knowledge Management Conference in December to contact us. And I've provided the contacts through a link that I've shared in the chats. You can visit, or you can just Google the Knowledge Management for Agriculture Development Challenge, and you will be contacting us through our website as well. So the conference is really going to be a very exciting one. We look forward to showcasing all the knowledge management work of the CADEP SP4 institutions. We look forward to having seasoned knowledge management people come to make some remarks. We also look forward to the cultural aspect of knowledge management, as briefly showcased by Dr. Andres. And then finally, we look forward to the exciting presentations that will be made by the participants based on the solutions and findings that they have gotten through the challenge. So we are open, and we still are looking forward to engaging more partners in this conference. Thank you.
So this is another artwork of a Ugandan Kenyan artist that encourages us to combine explicit knowledge written in books with the organic, the human knowledge of our brains, but oriented towards a vision of more development, of more competitiveness and prosperous societies, so that we have a purpose for which we are doing all of this. And I'm really excited to achieve all of this together with you. And now let us move to the next topic on our agenda and welcome the representatives of the sub-regional organizations to present their knowledge management concepts and what they consider as the key challenges in the field of agriculture, knowledge management challenges in the field of agricultural development. And I would like to let's say hand over to Benjamin, but maybe we still have a bit of time to answer some of the questions. Benjamin, what do you think?
Okay, yes, so probably we can allow a maximum of 2 questions within the next 5 minutes, and then we can start the presentations.
There's a question if it is possible to join as an individual when I'm interested in the challenge. And I think that the answer can be given directly, yes, anybody can join the KM4 Agricultural Development Challenge. I would recommend to send an email or to connect directly with Benjamin at FARA, and this can be organized very short term. Let us probably answer or look at additional questions. What else? What can be done to motivate youth to participate in agriculture? Because here in Uganda, we see youth moving from villages to town to do boda transport jobs. And well, there has been an answer already. And to be honest with ourselves, this is Dr. Fatumbi Oluwole who has answered. Agriculture is, as it is practiced today, will not work for the youth, mainly because it's not profitable. So this is something that we shall address in our challenge and discuss how to onboard the youth, how to make agriculture more attractive and also profitable. Of course, knowledge-based agriculture, Benjamin talked of knowledgeization, is an opportunity for youth. If they learn about new technologies, more opportunities, even IT solutions that support agricultural development, they might find very interesting and very demanding job opportunities in agriculture. My personal opinion is that agriculture is not only farming on the ground, but also including more and more opportunities in the context of farming, and knowledge management should bring together all these technologies and opportunities to make agriculture in its totality more productive and successful, and I think also more attractive for young people. Benjamin, any other questions that you have identified or shall be answered?
Yes, I think some of them have already been answered through the chats. Some of my colleagues are also at the back end answering to some of the questions. So I think we just have, maybe we will move into the presentations by the CADEP SP4 institutions, so that we will appreciate the kind of issues that are being addressed by that are already being addressed by these institutions, as well as the challenges that they look forward to overcoming through this challenge. So at this point, I would like to invite Asareka, who will present first. And I invite Ben Ilakut, the Technical Communication Officer of Asareka, to make his presentation. So Ben, you have 5 minutes to make your presentation. Thank you.
Oh, I was talking to myself.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Benjamin. I requested that you allow me to present because I am jumping out for another emergency. So first of all, I just want to say that whatever work we are talking about, even what Benjamin is describing, and Andrea, most of this work has been made possible through the support of the European Union, who has provided us funding through the CADEP SP4 program. And this fund is managed by IFAD. I thought it is very important to acknowledge the source of financing, because when we go talking about challenges, one of the challenges we shall be talking about is financing, but there is somebody who has given us money to do whatever we are doing and come together at this level. Thank you very much. I will be very fast, just to give you a background of the Asareka, how Asareka is positioned in the area of knowledge management. We have just completed revising our knowledge management and communication strategy, as well as the knowledge and information hub strategy. Asareka is positioning itself as the knowledge hub for agricultural research and development in Eastern and Central Africa. What is meant there is we want to harness knowledge resources from the constituent NARIs, but also broker partnerships with other agricultural research for development institutions available continentally and in the region, to make them available to the member NARIs via the Asareka Knowledge and Information Hub. When you click, if we made it available, it's not just public, that is what you will be seeing. We already have a framework with lots of work which has already gone into it. That is how the Asareka Knowledge Hub looks like. Inside it, I'm sorry, I'm unable to show it to you right now because I don't think we have enough time, but as we continue to interact during the conference, we may have an opportunity of looking into how the Asareka Knowledge Hub is structured. So in the hub, we have an electronic library, which is going to serve as a central area for all manner of publications developed by partners by ASARECA through ASARECA projects, but also by partners across the member states. We shall also be collating information, publications on agricultural research and development from other AR for the institutions and make them available via the electronic library of the Knowledge Hub. The other very critical, probably one of the most important sections in the Knowledge Hub of ASARECA is what we call the ASARECA team space. TEAM stands for Technologies, Innovations, and Management Practices. Over the last many years, ASARECA and partners, by coordinating work with partners from the NARIs, has produced over 400 technologies, innovations, and management practices. These are critical for the work of extension and for dissemination to the farmers. Out of these 400 technologies and innovations, we have cleared 200 of them, and we are making them available through the Knowledge Hub. In our Knowledge Hub, you will be able to access a collection or a description of technologies covering the areas of crops, livestock, and all other areas and management practices that are critical to inform decision-making in the extension area, as long as those that are ready for uptake through NGOs down to the farmers. So that is what comes from the Secretariat. The Knowledge Hub also has a section for agricultural data and statistics. This is an area where we want to harvest, collect all sorts of data. Some of them primarily generated, others through brokered partnerships, and make them available to partners across the region through the hub. Another area that the hub is featuring is what we're calling the experts database. We are working on a list almost about finalized of all major experts in the area that is within the context of agricultural research and development in all the member NARIs, and including those outside the NARIs that contribute towards agricultural research and development. That is going to be available in the Knowledge Hub. We already have some information, but we're still populating it. We have a section for learning and information where we'll be doing, where we shall be sharing latest technologies and facilities for webinars. We shall also be making available published standards and guidelines and information on emerging ICTs. The other key section that we have in the Knowledge Hub of ASARECA is what we call think tank and community of practice. Already we have formulated communities of practice. One of them is called the think tank of research apex leaders. This is a think tank of directors general of agricultural research from the NARIs of ASARECA member countries. They have constituted themselves into a community of practice to provide leadership in thinking around the area of agricultural research and development. We have other communities of practice, for example, the movers and shakers. This is a community of practice of knowledge management, of policy makers and people who have garnered expertise in the area of policy. This is also going to be made available via the think tank section of the Knowledge Hub. We have others. I may not go through them because you're unable to see them now. So I'm just giving you an insight into what the kind of things that are happening. I just wanted to explain a little bit about the ASARECA team space, the space which houses the technologies, innovations, and management practices in Eastern and Central Africa. So this space is going to be acting as a technology clearing house to be a central coordination, collection, maintenance, collation, processing, and access area for technologies, innovations, and management practices. Now, the Secretariat, this is a modality that we are working on that is in very advanced stages. The Secretariat is working with the National Agricultural Research Institutes to enter formal agreements on how to share knowledge resources available at the NARIs. This includes the teams, the publications, the portals, the repositories, the libraries, news, all the kind of resources which we will be identifying are critical for sharing. This is a very mutual process that is involving the senior management. I would actually say the leaders of the National Agricultural Research Institutes. I will be briefing you about what we have discussed with them and how far we have gone. So
you have 1 minute to wind up.
Very well. So this process actually has something to do with the responsibilities, share the responsibilities, and what we expect out of partners as we share the knowledge. I have discussed this slide already, so I'll go to the next one. So we have already convened a meeting. One of the things we did last year was to convene a meeting of all knowledge management specialists from the NARIs, and we had initial discussions with them on the challenges, the processes in knowledge development, generation, and processing. And from that meeting, we were able to identify, not even in detail, just committing that they have resources such as technology compendiums, success stories, how to do videos, policy briefs, newsletters, blogs, scientific and peer-reviewed journals. Some of them have information hubs, some of them have repositories, technology hubs, and all sorts of resources. The major challenges that we have identified together with our members from the National Agricultural Research Institutions is the limited capacity in knowledge management, either in terms of the people to manage knowledge, or actually in terms of the infrastructure to, to hold systems that you can think formidable enough to keep knowledge on the continent. And then we have a challenge of coping with advancing and evolving technology. These are some of the things which we should be able to handle when we work as a community. The other challenge that they have identified is limited access to credible and reliable data. The other one is limited finances. In the Asareka region, for example, I can categorize the NARIs into three. There are those that have at least managed to do something out of the Asareka 14 member countries. If you looked at Kenya and Uganda, Kenya Agricultural Research and Livestock Organization, and National Agricultural Research Organization, and Ethiopian Institute of Agricultural Research, you find that they're in their own category. But there are those that are actually lagging behind. For example, Eritrea, Madagascar, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Republic of Congo. Some of them do not even have websites. So there is a challenge in terms of going down even to support our NARIs, the weak ones, to develop the basic infrastructure from which to share information that we would want to make available throughout our partners. This is my last slide. Through our committee, we have what we call the Committee of Directors General of Agricultural Research, the Committee of DGs of the Asareka member countries. We convened them recently, and they have accepted that the Asareka Knowledge Hub is going to be a joint interoperable resource that is operated at the Secretariat, but it is a resource that belongs to the Secretariat and its constituents. They have also accepted to share knowledge resources from the NARIs, make them available to the world through APIs via the Asareka KI Hub. In our region, the Director Generals have also designated knowledge management liaison officers in the NARIs. And we are currently doing a rapid assessment of knowledge assets at the NARIs to assess knowledge resources which can be looped into the knowledge hub immediately, and those that need to be further developed. And in terms of sustainability, we are also looking at areas of capacity development which we shall be identifying in rapid assessment which we are carrying out in the NARIs, so as to support the NARIs that are under-resourced in terms of knowledge management, so as to build them from the bottom up and make this idea of a sub-regional knowledge management system a dream come true. Thank you. If you want me, Benjamin, and I had to rush. That is the perspective of knowledge management from the Africa sub-region, what we have in place and the challenges. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ben. You spend more time, that's fine. We have just five minutes to be able to present, so I will encourage subsequent presenters to make it a bit brief. And so at this point, I would like to invite AFAS whilst Koraf prepares. So AFAS, Andre, we look forward to your presentation. Thank you.
Hello, can you see my screen? Is my screen shared?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, good afternoon, good evening. It's a pleasure from AFAS to be part of this KM4AgD challenge initiative. So I'm going to share very quickly some of AFAS perspectives and also some updates from our side. So just a quick one, you must know that AFAS is a continental organization. And inside that continental organization, we do have also some kind of SROs, some regional organizations. So the updates, very quickly, this year and last year also, we've done a lot of initiatives in capacity building, as our ED already mentioned, especially on international standards. We also worked on, we are working and continuing to work on the KM strategy. Actually, we already have a KM portal and we are going to improve it again this year. We work also with the country forums, and in the countries, we have what we call the technical working groups, which are operational, especially those focusing on the CSA. What's coming soon is a collection of CSA stories and case studies from 10 country fora. This will come very soon in November, a collection of stories. Also, we are organizing, as our ED already mentioned, we are organizing the hackathon, and in this hackathon we have 3 thematics. Among those one, we have database of CSA knowledge, techniques, and innovation. So that's all for my side. No, that's not all. What is our focus? So you can see here, most of us participating here are from this area, the researchers and other stakeholders. And we also talk here at AFAS of extensionists and farmers. But our main focus, of course, we are all talking about this, how to transform these objectives in reality and in concrete livelihood improvement, poverty eradication, and better nutrition, and so on. Unfortunately, the language that you talk from research, most of you are from research here, doesn't mean anything. And when we talk about this with the farmer, and this is where extensionist is important. So our role and our focus at AFAS is first, the extension workers and the frontline extension workers who will link to our second focus, which are the farmers. So that should be very clear when we work with researchers, because sometimes research is too broad and sometimes it goes in very theoretical things, but at AFAS we try to be as practical and as focused as possible. So the practical perspective or orientation that we have is clearly written in Ben's in the KM4AgD concept note. And it is this: the right information and knowledge at the right place, in the right form, and at the right time. This is exactly what our extension workers, our farmers need. They need some information, some knowledge, some innovation at their place in the right format. And they don't, sometimes they are illiterate, sometimes they don't even understand the language we talk. So we have to translate and so on, present in video format and so on, and at the right time. So it has to be put somewhere close to them so that they can always access this information. I'll be very brief. Our advantage, we work with a lot of stakeholders, founders, policymakers. We want to influence all these people, the academia, the researchers, the private sector. Most of these are present here. And we all focus on trying, as Ben just said, 400 knowledge products for innovation, knowledge products that are shared. But are they really reaching the farmers? Are they really changing the livelihoods of these people? Is it just available, or is it disseminated and pushed? And is it contextualized for them? Is it accessible for them? This is why we need the extensionists. And AFAS is working with the extensionists. So thank you very much for listening. And let me just do a 15-second advertisement. In the coming months, we are full gear towards the Agriculture Extension Week taking place in November. You see the address, the registration link below. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Andre. And just to add that we should make it a point to register for the Africa Agriculture Extension Week. So at this point, I would like to invite Kadesa. I, in error, mentioned Koraf initially, but alphabetically is Kadesa. That is next. So Bridget. Hello, Bridget.
Hello, I'm here. You caught me unawares. I thought you said Koraf.
Yeah, it was an error.
Okay.
We are following the alphabetical order. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you for this opportunity to present on CADESA. For those of you who may not know, CADESA is the Center for Coordination of Agriculture Research in Southern Africa, and it targets 16 member states in Southern Africa. And we work very closely with, of course, like anyone else among the SOROs, with ministries of agriculture, with the NARES, researchers, policymakers, and of course, we work with academia sometimes. So I'll go through the CADESA key KM agenda.
Hello, Bridget.
Hello.
Kindly project your slide.
I'm projecting.
It's not projected on us.
You need to go to the presentation mode, Bridget.
It is in presentation mode. It's on slideshow.
Okay, you go ahead, please.
Actually, we can see it.
You can't see it?
No, we can see, except that it is.
We can see it.
Okay.
It's not on presentation mode. That's what we're looking for. But you can proceed, please.
All right. So I was saying I'm going to go through just the key knowledge management agenda for CADESA. So what we planned for under the CADIP program is the development and implementation of knowledge capture guidelines and strategies for some countries, and also to have our draft ICKM, which is information and knowledge management strategy, approved. And then we also intend to do knowledge generation, translation, and transfer. This is normally done working very closely with what we call our ICKM focal point persons in the 16 member states who help us to generate the information that we need. And when we generate this information, mainly, we share it with the audiences using our CADESA website. We have got a website which is at cadesa.org.com, and it has got knowledge products. If you visit it right now, you find that it has got over 850 knowledge products on different thematic areas, including agriculture, climate smart agriculture, developed technologies, and many more others. And then the same knowledge products are also linked to the CADESA mobile app. We have a learning mobile app, which can be used online and offline, and it can be used mainly by farmers, even in the extension. So we tried to have different technologies so that we reach the different target audiences that we have. And then the other thing that the other channel that we use are Facebook audiences and discussion
may I
groups.
interrupt you briefly?
Please.
We cannot see the slides moving. Maybe you would like to share the screen once again, because we are still with the title slide, the front slide.
Seriously?
Yes. So maybe you.
Can you see now?
No.
Okay. Let me stop sharing.
Stop sharing and
stop sharing and then start again.
Okay. Let me stop sharing and then start again.
I think your slides are worth seeing them.
Can you see my slides now?
We can still see the front page.
You can see the front page. So I'm going to put it on a slideshow.
Yes.
Can you see that now?
Yes.
Now it works. Now we can see slides successes.
Okay. So I only have 3 slides. So I was talking about the different target audiences that we have and the technologies that we use. So I'll proceed and talk about the translating of these knowledge products into user-friendly formats to reach wider audiences. So in the past, we concentrated so much on the paper-based, and we neglecting the radio and as well as the video formats. So now what we are working towards is to translate the knowledge products that we have into audio and visual formats, so that those target audiences that are not reached with those can also have them. And apart from that, we are also working on the interoperability of our KM system with other systems in the region to enable a borderless kind of system where if one enters through the FARA website, comes through the CORAF into CADESA without any blockers along the way. And then we are also strengthening our ICKM system as well as our CADESA learning mobile app by having them regularly updated and maintained. Apart from that, we have communities of practice for the ICKM focal point persons and as well as the media. So these 2 groups help us, the first one I told you earlier, to generate information, and the other one to disseminate that which we cannot manage to disseminate on the CADESA website. And apart from that, we also have been working on ISO standards for knowledge management and for IT. So we want to have this procured and implemented, just like the previous speaker mentioned that we did a capacity building on this, and as OFSROs, this is what we were working towards achieving. So, and then we also have on our plan to participate in this knowledge management for agriculture development challenge, where we want some of our countries to be capacity built, who are the key stakeholders. And talking about the successes now, so what have we done from the things that I have mentioned? We have managed to develop knowledge information capture guidelines, and we trained our 16 member states in these guidelines, and now they have started implementing, collecting data using the information guidelines that were shared with them. We managed to develop knowledge management strategies for 4 countries. We are yet trying to see how we can help the other countries, because we couldn't have physical meetings because of the COVID-19 that stood in the way. And then we, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we have managed to generate 855 knowledge products that are on the website, and then steps to ensure that this interoperability agenda takes place that we agreed on in the Akosombo meeting in Ghana have already started. We have liaised with COMESA, so we have linked our website to COMESA and also to FARA. And just yesterday we had talks with another organization called SADC, not SADC, but SADC, and they are also linking their website and our links to them, so that there can be that exchange of information by their audience and our audiences. And then we have made steps in improving our CADESA ICKM system. We just updated it, and as well as our mobile app. So though, you know, it cannot be done once and for all, every other time there are needs of updates that come up and about from time to time. And then now we started the process of procuring the ISOs. So we are sure that by next year we'll start implementing following the international standards for knowledge management and for information technology. And then we have been engaging regularly, successively with our 2 communities of practice, the media, as well as the ICKM focal point persons. And that is how come at this particular meeting, we have got 5 participants who have been nominated to participate in the knowledge for agriculture challenge that we're having. But this hasn't been without challenges. So I'll share with you a few challenges. This is my last slide. Ben, don't hack me. So some of the challenges that we have faced is that sometimes generating knowledge from generating these knowledge products from member states tends to be difficult, because sometimes they hold research papers, and then so we are only left with the option of CADESA itself now generating those publications and also sourcing from other partners. But we're working towards that. There are a few who are very receptive. I'm sure, like most of you, I'm sure you experience a few challenges with a few member states. And then the ICKM focal point person who we depend on to share this information, they also have their competing priorities, work priorities, which they are paid for. So we tend to, there's like a tag of, oh, this one is, CADESA is pulling this side, and their ministries of agriculture are pulling that side. And then the other challenge that we have faced is to have all the knowledge products that we have in the 3 official SADC languages, which are English, French, and Portuguese. We normally manage to get the English version, and sometimes French is easier to come by, but we have been experiencing serious challenges with Portuguese. And then we have just realized that the cost of translating knowledge products into audio formats and radio programs is on the higher side. Unlike when you are producing them in paper formats that you can just share online. So to bring this challenge to an end, we have just decided to put them in 2 batches so that we do a few, and then next time we do a few just like that. And then the other one is the interoperability of systems. It's still a challenge with some organizations because the systems sit on different platforms and some organizations are not really willing to do that. So that has been some of the challenges that we have faced. I won't take much of your time. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Bridget.
You're welcome.
So I now
may I just comment? I think that Andre and also Bridget, you have mentioned ISO. I'm happy that even in this meeting we have a representative of the Kenyan Social Security Fund, who is among the, or even the first organization in Africa having implemented and having been certified after the ISO 3041. Millicent Awiti is here with us, and she will even speak as one of the first speakers on next Monday about her experiences. Sorry for commenting that, but it has been mentioned and I wanted to recognize her.
That's okay. All right, so thank you very much. At this point, I invite David Akana of KORAF to present on behalf of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Greetings to all the colleagues who are in the room here at the Secretariat of Data, and to all those who are connected at this launch. We understood this assignment.
Sound is not clear. We can't hear.
Thank you, Ben, for letting me take your seat. I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, and you can see. We can also see you.
Oh, great. I'm glad you can see me. Perhaps I need to take off my mask so you can see my full face. You're trying to be sensitive to coronavirus. Great.
Nice.
Super. So I was saying greetings to the friends who are here in the room with us. Greetings to all of you who are signed up right now, and to my friend Andrea from Uganda, and to all of you. And I was saying that we understood this assignment to mean sort of just highlighting the challenges, and I use the word opportunities here, but intentionally, but to highlight the challenges from the perspective of KADEP ex-Philacopi partners. So we just have one slide, and we understand the challenges in this context to mean how we would find a way to work collaboratively, right? Meaning that establishing synergies among ourselves. We think that it's a challenge, but it's also a huge opportunity for us to be able to do something transformative. The second point that we have here is being able to leverage our unique value propositions. What I simply mean here is that obviously we are all research collaboration instruments, but we are very different because of the context in which we function. But there is no point for us to do everything together, meaning that if you do set up, for instance, an agripreneur TV, like in the case of KORAF, it should serve all other SROs rather than having to duplicate the same instrument in the other regions. We also do know that FARA can have with respect to the compilation of innovation platforms, and we have one for every other SRO in the region, on the continent. And we could do same with other SROs, identify something that they do very well, and let them do it for all of us. The other thing that we identified, and I think it's important as well, is linking our various online systems and doing what I said, creating a unique but distinct platform in the model of the one CGA for research and development SROs in Africa. If you look at how the one CGA functions, ILRI, ECRAF, ECRISAT, what have you, winner of this year's Africa Food Prize, they all have one platform where you have everybody, right? So I think the challenge right now is for us to be able to build that sort of infrastructure as SROs and FARA. And last point here is just being able to learn from one another. I suspect we are not doing a lot of that. There'll be plenty that we would enrich our different systems if we were just listening a little bit to how FARA does a few more things, or how CORAP does certain things, how Zareka does certain things. That would enrich us in very significant ways, I think. So that was our understanding of this task, just to discuss those challenges from the perspective of CADEP X Pillar 4 pillars, Pillar 4 partners rather. Last point from me, we've had 3 days already here at the Secretariat talking about our various systems and how we can all bring them together. I'll not be raising them at this point because I think there'll be other opportunities to talk about that. And so with that, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. And that is the evidence that I'm actually working from CORAF this week. Yes. Okay. So I think it's Farah's turn to present, and I will just quickly use the 5 minutes to make the presentation. So jump a lot of things. Okay. Okay. Please, can you see my slide?
It is not, yeah, now we can see it in presentation mode.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, so my colleagues have already spoken a lot about the KM challenges, their KM agenda, and FARA's own doesn't actually look different. We basically, at the continental level, are working at connecting and collaborating with the regional partners as well as the countries to be able to make knowledge management work. So our knowledge management objective is just to promote access to knowledge products, services, and technological options to support evidence-based decision-making. And we do this through the Knowledge Management Hub, through the observatory, where we generate the knowledge products, as well as facilitating and promoting knowledge and information dissemination and communication. We also, in knowledge management in FARA, focuses on 4 key outputs, and these 4 outputs are delivered through 3 key functions: knowledge management, learning, and communication. And so the 4 key outputs, we are looking at reaching out to many more actors through online platforms, generating an aspect directory for AR4D, and then the knowledge products as well as information and communication products. Now, the vehicle for delivering, or the knowledge system that FARA uses to deliver our knowledge products or knowledge services, provided tools, is through the FARA data informs. And FARA Data Informs is a component of the Observatory for Agriculture in Africa, as in the CADEP. And so our work is just to ensure that we are linking the right products and services. We are promoting learning. We are ensuring quality in the kind of products that we send out. And then we are encouraging partnerships and collaboration so that whatever is happening at the regional level, at the country, at the farmer level, we try to ensure that everybody anywhere in Africa is able to also have access to it. What is happening in KORAF region should not just be confined to KORAF region, but it serves as lessons to other people in the Asareka region. And this is how knowledge management in FARA focuses on. Now, in terms of the challenges, and we have already spoken a lot about the integration agenda. David just emphasized something like that. Bridget also said same. So the agenda is, and that is a big problem that we are all facing, which we are hoping that this challenge will help us move a step forward, is to ensure that we are integrating in terms of our knowledge management approaches, our knowledge management tools, our knowledge resources, our processes, the communities that we work with, we are able to integrate them, the capacity development, and we've all agreed that this is one of the key channels for capacity development, I mean the KM4AgD challenge, and then ensuring that the knowledge ecosystem for AR4D is improved. And there's a lot of talk about knowledge management to advance the Malabo goals as well as the SDGs. So in terms of this challenge, from FARA's perspective, we are looking forward to being able to generate knowledge and advance the state of agricultural knowledge management practices, challenges, and solutions in Africa through the participants in this challenge. We hope to build capacities, skills, and extend to scale in terms of advancing the Malabo goals and SDGs based on the participants. And then we want to use this opportunity to galvanize support in knowledge management in AR4D in Africa through influencing policy and how the existing policies can also be used to support and advance knowledge management in Africa. So these are the three key challenges that we are looking forward to find some level of solutions on through this challenge. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm grateful. So Andres, maybe over to you.
Thank you very much, Benjamin, for the presentation. Now we still have maybe a few more minutes time to ask for feedback and for questions. And please feel free to ask new questions to the participants or to the speakers. Currently, I see that most of the questions have been answered. So I don't see any open questions. There has been a question by Prince Lekan Fadina. You may want to ask your question.
Yeah, let me congratulate the organizers. I think the day has been well spent. The presentations were very good. And one important question that I think one we need to look at is looking at talking about collaboration and partnering. You stress so much on agriculture, which I think is good because I'm a very strong believer in the concept of food first. But I believe that we need to start addressing the totality of the society. And this is where I thought that the organization should start to see how we can develop collaboration and so on, like what is happening now with K4DP. I think we need to start to look at regional collaboration. You are in Ghana, somebody else in Congo, anywhere. I think we need to have that platform where we can share ideas, and then we can, if you have a program or we have a program, all of us should be part of it. And I'm impressed with the comment made by Dan on the issue of policy. The governance is a key issue, especially in Africa. And no matter how good your product is, one statement by anybody in government can kill that initiative. And when we start to talk about facilitation or creating an enabling environment, that to me is a nebulous statement because it doesn't mean anything. And I think what we need to do is to use knowledge to drive this process. Having said it, I would like to know what plans are you having or do you think can be put in place in ensuring that partnership is maintained not only in agriculture, but at least you can also identify key people within Africa that are talking about knowledge management. I think that is an important thing that we need to address.
Thank you very much for this comment. I would like to collect a few more questions and then give the speakers the opportunity to respond. I have realized there is a question from Callistus Tandong in the chat, who says that one of the biggest challenges in African agriculture is how to get relevant information and training to farmers. So how can we change this narrative? And we also put this on the list of questions. So I take from you, Lekan, the collaboration in the countries, how can this be supported? The second topic of how can politicians be involved in this process? And from Callistus, how to bring knowledge to the farmers. Any more questions from the participants? I can currently not see.
Andres, if you don't mind, I think there is another issue which we need to look at. And that is when we start to talk about knowledge, we need to address indigenous knowledge. And when we are talking about farmers, what type of information is going to the farmers? How do we do it? And in what way will this information be useful? If information we are passing through does not create synergy, if information we are passing through does not create a learning process, that is building capacity, training people, does not lead to development. We're talking about 17 development goals. All that means is that there should be an enhancement of the gross productive GDP of any country. And then as far as the people are concerned, there must be an enhancement of their sustainable life. I think to me, then we must, of course, that's the key of knowledge is, the issue of knowledge is key. So what I'm trying to say is that we should be able to use knowledge as an instrument to transform Africa. That to me is a challenge. Also, we may need to look at it through our education and the other processes. Thank you.
Thank you. We take the topic of indigenous knowledge and the impact on our list. Peter Balaba, you have raised your hand. Would you like to ask a question? Peter, can you hear us? Peter Balaba. Otherwise, I have a question in the chat from...
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Peter. Okay. Thank you. Mine has partially asked by the previous presenter about when he talked about indigenous knowledge. My concern was in the same line that if we do a bottom-up approach, we'll be able to succeed, because sometimes we tend to develop content and it's ignored by the consumers, and these are the farmers. So I think we need to find a way of bringing the farmers on board first before we do the content generation and all that dissemination kind of stuff. So by doing that, we will be able to achieve what we want to achieve. Otherwise, indigenous knowledge is key. We tend to think that farmers are ignorant. They don't know, but what they know sometimes need to be modified to make it to make such skills better, to see that at least they can benefit from their farming activities. That's my input.
Thank you very much, Peter. So the topic of indigenous knowledge has a strong interest by the participants. And I realized that also in the last months when we worked on the continental knowledge management framework. So there has been another question in the chat asking about how knowledge management in agricultural development can be done in different countries. What are the steps for interaction between different partners? I think that also includes the indigenous people and what has been discussed in the beginning of how collaboration in the country can be facilitated. So I take this also on the list of how to facilitate the communication in countries. Let us give the is there another question before we give the speakers the opportunity to answer? Basheya, you raised the hand and removed it again. So let us give the speakers the opportunity to reply to these questions. I conclude them again: how to support collaboration in the countries for a better knowledge ecosystem approach. The second about how to involve the politicians. The third topic was about indigenous knowledge, and the question of Callistus was how to reach out to the farmers. So let us reply to these questions. Is there any of the speakers who wants to reply to that?
I think Andre may want to address the question of how to reach out to the farmer, which he has been doing over the years.
Okay. To be very short, in the actual context, and probably in future, the best way to reach farmers in an efficient way and in an effective way will be through digital tools. Now, we all know that digital tools can't replace humans who can explain more in depth and so on, and interact more. So the digital tool will be the way to just start and trigger some process, but it's a very efficient way, and all research and extension and all the stakeholders who wants to really work on the improving the situation in rural areas should master digital tools. Now, as I said, it's just one part. Maybe it can cover 60–70% of the needs, but there's the 30% that needs physical presence, interactions with the farmers. So maybe that's a very short answer, but that's the strategy that we are envisaging and we recommend for now.
Excellent. Thank you, Andre, for this answer. May I ask Benjamin to respond to the topic of collaboration with the politicians? I think that you have a very political approach to knowledge management. Maybe you are fit to answer this question.
Okay, thank you very much, Andre. Yeah, so I think for us, and from where FARA sits, is largely about the continuation of the dialogue and sensitization about the essence of knowledge management in advancing the cause of agriculture. And so we just need to continue with these interactions collectively. And I believe maybe as we go through this challenge, we galvanize support for the KM conference in December, which is likely going to be the first of its kind in terms of the structure that we are working with. I think it is also an opportunity for us to make a lot more input into the communique that can be used by our various institutions to carry out policy dialogues and advance other communications with the relevant policymakers in the continent. So we just need to continue to forge ahead, work collectively, and then focus on the fact that one of the key ways by which we can get everybody on board is through the tools and services that comes with knowledge management.
Thank you very much. Then I would like to maybe, is Ben Ilakut still here, or maybe?
No, he's not here.
He has left, yes. So I would like probably to answer on his behalf the topic of collaboration in the countries. How can this be organized? How can the collaboration between stakeholders be supported? And since I have been collaborating with Azareka in the development of the knowledge management and communication strategy, I would like to respond by answering that at least in Eastern and Central Africa, the proposal and the strategy is to strengthen national agricultural knowledge partnerships. And this is a structure that is being developed. Even in Uganda, we are starting to do this, of the key stakeholders and partners that requires facilitation. A partnership does not happen just by putting people on a list of partners, but there is a process for a knowledge partnership that requires very strong facilitation skills in order to be participative, to co-create new solutions, to develop the capacities together, and to set, let's say, to set up the processes in the country so that knowledge flows are really supported and facilitated in the country. So the answer would be set up knowledge partnerships, develop a joint knowledge agenda, and find a strong facilitator for such a knowledge partnership. My personal recommendation for facilitation of knowledge partnerships is that you should find someone who is really focused on facilitation and who is not necessarily a major player like a ministry or a research organization, because evidently a neutral facilitator who is mainly and only focusing on facilitation can balance in a better way all the different perspectives of a knowledge partnership. So that is my response to collaboration in countries. And with regards to the topic of indigenous knowledge, may I now ask Bridget to respond to that?
Thank you, Andrea, for the opportunity to respond to that question. So I agree with the person who posed the question on indigenous knowledge, and where we don't have to go to the farmer with creating an impression like we know it all and we have to load them with information. So like, I'll give you a very practical example, like what KADESA is doing. So on the mobile app that we have, our main target mainly there is to reach the farmer using the extension. And we have put technical briefs on the mobile app that has got information on how it can help the farmer. But there's also on the same mobile app a place where the farmer can now share their story, you know, providing the indigenous knowledge and indigenous practices, how they are doing well and what is working for them, to share with the other farmer who will be on that same platform. So we have put in place a way of harvesting indigenous knowledge from the farmer, because we know that the farmer has got practices that they have been using from eternity past that can work now and help other farmers who may be facing similar situations or similar challenges in different locations of the continent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Definitely in the next weeks and months, the topic of indigenous knowledge will be discussed, and we will hopefully find good solutions that go beyond what we are currently knowing and proposing. So there was another question on corruption. I think this is an omnipresent topic. One of the biggest hindrances to knowledge and information dissemination and transfer to farmers is corruption. How to handle this? I think this is a big topic, and maybe the time will not suffice. I would really like to, let's say, maybe not fully answer this question, because it is such a generic question for almost every topic in Africa. Everything is hampered by corruption. We will probably not find the solution right now and here, but there will be opportunity specifically in the challenge to answer also this question and find some recommendations. Shall we, considering the time, close here and move to the conclusion and closing remarks? Benjamin, can you introduce?
Yes.
Take over, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Andreas. Yes, this is a very exciting conversation, and probably this already whets the appetite for the participants in the challenge, because a lot of these are going to emerge in the context of the challenge. So at this point, I would want to introduce my senior colleague, who is deputizing our Director for Research and Innovation. He's been on the call all this while. Professor Oluwole Fatumbi is going to officially admit the 25 participants and close the meeting for us. So I know he will have a few remarks to make, but before that, let me just assure participants who have been selected for the program that you've already been recognized, and this is the time that you should pay more attention to whatever Professor Fatumbi is going to say, and further information or communication will be made to you after his submission and probably closing. So, Professor Fatumbi, we are happy to have you. Sorry for keeping you this long before allowing you to talk. So the floor is now yours. And
thank you very much, Ben. Yeah. And partners in the flow of this webinar. I have stayed glued for over 2.5 hours to this, and I enjoyed it very much. I had the opportunity to actually hear my opinion also in the chat box, and hundreds. I'm the one that came up with that response to that question. And then I wasn't political about it, because we have data to back up that point. Well, to the core issue, I want to say to the participants that FARA is excited with the progress the entire continent is making with knowledge management. I think about 3 to 4 years ago, FARA began to give attention to this. We began to realize that productive agriculture will only be achieved in Africa if we bring knowledge to the fore. I mean, productive agriculture is actually knowledge intensive, and the issue of knowledge management came up. Let me say that this challenge that is up and all the partners are collaborating in it, knowledge management for agricultural development, seems to be unprecedented in the history of agricultural research and development in Africa. And it's such a joy that we are able to find the participation of AFAs, SROs, and other stakeholders from across the continent and outside the continent. So this is important to us in FARA. Now, let me speak to the 25 individuals that have been selected as participants of Knowledge Management for Agricultural Development Challenge. Well, I love the process, and the process is very competitive. So I want to congratulate you first for making it into the list and for being the pioneer of this great initiative that we believe we continue and continue and continue again. But being pioneer, it's a privilege, it's an opportunity, but it comes with its own challenge. And I want to encourage all of you to pick the challenge up, because your attitude, your approach, and how well you run this challenge will actually have an impact on the next level of this challenge. If you handle all the trainings, all the effort with levity, if we are running the training and a few of you are only participating, others are not participating, I mean, you would have begun to damp the enthusiasm of others that we likely want to be part of it. And so you are the set that will define the utility of this knowledge management for agricultural development challenge. So, and you have opportunity to make it, to bring forth is relevant. And so you need to perform well and perform very, very well. I congratulate you once again, and FARA and other stakeholders will always be there to encourage you through the process. I begin to look at the 25 individuals and I'm beginning to see some champions there. I'm seeing Eric here. Congratulations, Eric. Congratulations, Charles. Congratulations, Victoria, Zainab Abdullahi, Eric Nunda, and all others, Francis Nguru. Congratulations to every one of you. Now let me perform the duty that I've been asked to do on behalf of the Director of Research and Innovation in FARA, Dr. Agri Agumbia. I hereby admit you into the first cohort of participants in the knowledge management for agricultural development in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Batumbi. We are very grateful. So I think he has mentioned, we already have the participants here. I've been seeing them. We have participants from AFAS. As you can see, we have Fadula Isa, Mark Bapa, Wallaline, Albert, and Elizabeth. And then from Cadesa, we have Vida, Americo, Lucky, Dorcas, and Baylan. And for Koraf, we have Malik, Samuel, Dembele, Jibrila, Davakan, Marilyn, and Emmanuel. Actually, all your countries are attached to your names. So we encourage you from AFAS. AFAS has the biggest representation, and he has already mentioned some of them. So you can go to the site, the website, to find all the information about the participants and the facilitators and the program. All the details that we've spoken about are all on the website, and we look forward to engaging you. Participants who have been officially admitted, we congratulate you, and we will be communicating with you on the details of the program and how you will join. But be informed that the training officially will start on Monday. So you will receive all the communication before Monday so that you can join accordingly. So I think we've come to the end of the workshop. Dr. Andreas.
Thank you very much. I would also like to say a few words to conclude. I think Dr. Fatumbi has also already mentioned the responsibility that we have. And really, I would like to strengthen that. We must not fail in this challenge. There is a unique opportunity for us to make a difference, and we have to achieve something that can create a breakthrough that makes a difference. So much has been done and invested in the last 20 and 30 years, but agricultural development has not taken place to the extent that would be satisfying. It is up to us to demonstrate that knowledge and innovation make a difference and to provide the practical solutions. And I can confirm from our side, K4DP side, that we as the lecturers, trainers, and facilitators of this challenge do our best to co-create with you breakthrough innovations and ideas. This challenge shall not only be about handover of experiences of the past, but also to co-create with you new innovative and practicable solutions. And I look forward to this starting next Monday. So I'm very excited, and I think our team is excited, and we are looking forward to making a difference. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Final words are to you, Benjamin.
All right, thank you. We appreciate everybody, and please continue to follow the webpage, the KM4AgD.faraafrica.org. Every communication about the challenge will be put on that platform. All the presentations that have taken place today, we will upload them on that, and all participants will send you an email as well so that you have access to it. Those of you who have interest in joining the conference, you can contact us, myself or any of my colleagues from the SROs and AFAS, and then we can have the discussion going on. The KM4D challenge is also, it starts on Monday. Any institution that is willing to sponsor any individual, please, you are welcome. Just contact us for further discussion, and we will take it up from there. Thank you for coming, and we wish you all the best. See you participants on Monday.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.